This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. It's amazing how many different modalities and techniques and insight and information there is out there to help pilot our lives forward and learn different things about us, what makes us, even our health. And we're going to dig into something today, which is called an AO scan. I believe I'm saying that correctly. She performed it on me virtually. It provides a lot of insight, and this is all part of what she offers in terms of she runs deep. She really does. As an integrative health coach, a nutritional kinesiologist, and so much more. She's also has a practice, a business with something called the Harmonic egg, where you experience sound and light to get a positive outcome in terms of how you feel, your health, mentally and physically. So let's dig into this today with Courtney Yarch, who's back on the program with us. How are you doing?
I'm so well. Thank you so much for having me today.
I've heard about this AO scan. And what's amazing is just from little pieces of information, date of birth, stuff like that, and a scan of your voice using technology, you can get some vital or interesting information. What can we learn typically from these scans?
A ton of stuff. First of all, the AO scan is part of the Solex technology. So the cool thing is you don't need to, like with a lot of technologies, you need to sit in an infrared sauna, or you need to sit in a massage chair, or you need to be somewhere present. Here, I'm going to locate you in the quantum because you have like an electric signature. I'm going to use some identifying information like your name and your birth date, a photo of you, a voice recording to locate you in the quantum. And then I can scan you. You don't even need to be in the same room with me. You can be across the country, across the world, or sitting across the table from me. That's the cool part. So there's several different scans that the AO technology does. I always love to start with the inner voice one. The inner voice uses a 10-second voice recording, and then it listens to the different, there's all the notes. You sound different when you're really happy and excited, or you're angry at your dog or whatever, because the different tones and notes come out more prevalent. So the AO scan inner voice actually scans your voice for the top three, like overabundant notes in your voice, and the one that is suppressed the most. And then that tells you where you're at emotionally. So the cool thing is, then it's going to play you back balancing harmonics. I send that to you via email, and you can listen to it, and it's going to play back like the opposite notes of the three that are corresponding. And the note that is most suppressed, it's going to play that back, which totally helps balance your emotions. It's not just going to help with like, oh, I'm a little bit sad today. It's going to help with your relationships. It's going to help with your creativity. It's going to help with everything. And you don't have to do anything. You can just sit there, listen to it while you're typing away, while you're driving in your car.
Wow. And this is music, we'll call it that, certain frequency that's been designed to achieve that result and other results, right?
Yeah. And the benefit is I would love you to listen to it with either AirPods or with, headphones on rather than just stereo sound, because different frequencies are coming in the different ears. You got the binaural beats, so hearing it like that is key.
I completely agree with you. And I listen to everything in headphones, as you can see. I'm on now, even music. Like I've gotten into my new passion in the last couple of months is I just lay in bed and I listen to music. I look at lyrics, and I can't do it without having headphones on because I want to be in its world, and it kind of sounds what's going on with this.
Absolutely. 100%.
So before we go forward, should we play an example?
Absolutely.
Of one of these scans? All right. I'm going to pick one at random. And this is G sharp path of revelation C. What am I listening to? What are we going to hit?
So if C was the corresponding, or the one that you had overachieving or overabundant, G sharp is going to balance it out. It's great for improved communication and confidence. So listen up. If you have this in your headphones, it's going to be perfect.
It is positive. It's uplifting. I feel like it's the score to a movie that I'm listening to.
That could be. So everyone, there's a 3-minute track for all of the different. So depending on what you need today, you would get different ones sent to you every day. That's the real cool thing.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
I
that.
just actually
Say that again. Let's make sure that we got that. That's clear. You get a different one every day, period of time. How long? Like, what's up?
Well, every time you do it, I do it on myself every single morning. So I listen to my harmonics every day. And there are some, because everyone has some natural tendencies and some emotional imbalances or balances, whatever. So there are some notes that always come up. So some of them I listen to the same ones every day, but there's always some variety, because depending on how you slept, depending on how your relationships are going, how stress level's going, you're gonna have different stuff going on in your life. So I do this every single morning on myself. And it's
And
amazing.
for anybody that doesn't realize it, what we're listening to is certain frequencies put to music. So there are certain sounds in there. And if we just listen to the sounds, we might be like, what the heck is that? Like, wah, wah. But it's added to music. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something kind of drony, like, all right. It's like taking cough medicine. I know it's good for me. I'll swallow for now and hold my nose as it goes down, and that's that. This is melodic and interesting and calming, actually.
Yeah. The cool thing is, so you get 4 different 3-minute, music balancing harmonic tracks, because you have the 3 that are overabundant in your voice, and then the one that's the most suppressed. So you get basically 12 minutes of music every day that you run it. I oftentimes just put on repeat while I'm driving, or put on repeat while I'm doing busy work. I mean, not when I'm communicating with people, but when I'm alone, it is a great way to just get my mind going and set for the day.
So the music part isn't the only thing that you get with this when you
Right.
do the scan. You get information, just overviews of basically your, I guess, mental and physical situation.
So one of the others, so that was the inner voice. So one of the ones that I love is called the vital scan, and it scans all your vitals. Now, I'm definitely going to say I am not a doctor. I cannot claim to treat, heal, cure, or diagnose any disease or illness. But your different parts of your body, your liver and your brain and your heart, they all resonate at a basic frequency. And when you're out of alignment, bummer stuff happens. Illness happens, emotions happen, you don't feel as good. So we can scan, not me. The AO scan system can scan your frequencies and your whole body. This is going to tell you what foods you're sensitive to today. It's going to tell you where your meridians are at, where your chakras are at, and rebalance them all. I especially loved it when, we have a whole bunch of just gross stuff in the world. There's parasites and bacteria, there's candida and molds and fungus all around. And so every day when you run the scan, it's going to first, on the right-hand column, it's going to show you what you were at previous to the scan. And then it scans you and optimizes you. And then it's going to say current scan, and that is going to be where you're at now. So it is not fixing everything, right? But it's going to send you some optimizing frequencies. And you're going to notice between the right and the left, more of them are in the green rather than the red. Of course, none of this is going to fix everything about your life in one scan. But I definitely do it. Like when I'm going out to eat, like if I have my dinner planned, I'm not going to change that. But if I'm going out to a restaurant, I'm going to run my vital scan every time, and I'm going to see which foods to avoid. Now, it's not coming up as food allergies. It's never saying this is not what you should ever eat again. But depending on how your energetic frequency is going for any given day, maybe you don't need any more eggs for that day. Maybe you are not really needing some red meat. Maybe you don't need all the iron. So depending on what my scan says is what I'm going to base my day around, how I'm going to eat that day.
So you can do the scan. Can the rest of us do it on a daily basis?
Well, of course, you could, I mean, I do it for my clients. Otherwise, you
Right.
can sign up, there's a subscription fee that you could do it for yourself too. So Steve, if you wanted to do this for yourself every day, you could sign up and I would help you with your subscription basis so you can run it. But
Got
I
it.
also do have, you can pay me to do it this day and this day and this day. I have a monthly membership, so there's different ways to do it. But the benefit is multiplied when you do it on a regular basis.
Interesting. And I wasn't aware of that. So, and it makes perfect sense because we're moving, we're changing, we're evolving every day. I mean, there's different things that are going on with us. Now I'm opening up some of the vital reports, and this is, it goes from dairy, fruits, nuts, grains, meat, seafood, and things like that. I don't have a lot of allergies or sensitivities that I'm aware of, so I wish I could look at it and say, "Whoa, look at that one." Where should I look? Whether it's this report or not?
I guess look, like, I mean, just on any given thing. How about this? Go down, scroll down till you get to like there's parts on candida and bacteria and parasites. And now I want you to know that in our day-to-day world, we all deal with bacteria and parasites and stuff. Usually your immune system can deal with that. So it's not that no one's going to scan it and have nothing of any bacteria in their life or no candida or no mold. Usually previous to the scan and then post scan, you have more of them in the green. I usually say that if you have 4 or more parasites or whatever, you consider something like a parasite cleanse. And if you have maybe 4 or more bacteria or candida, we work on some sort of a detox for that, which I can also do in the Harmonic egg. But I want you to know that any one given thing is not the end of the world. It's not a be all end all because you always have those things going on in your body. So we want to optimize it. We want to get you away from those frequencies. But I don't want you to think that if you have a bacteria today, you're going to go die or be on antibiotics or anything crazy.
Well, if you want to Google it, many of us are walking around with parasites in our stomachs. Just saying,
that's just how it goes.
Didn't mean to scare you or anything like that, but that's the reality. That's the reality.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I didn't scan. I didn't scroll all the way down. Now I see all this other stuff going on here. What does it mean? And I'm looking at the enhanced report, I guess it is.
The enhanced report is a little bit trickier. I thought I sent you the classic report.
No, you did. All right, let me go back to classic. Hang tight.
Let's go to classic. It's a whole lot easier to understand. The enhanced report goes into like if you have too much of something or too little, and is it a chronic or is it acute issue? So that's a little bit tougher than we can get into on a 30-minute podcast.
No worries, no worries. I of course, me is like, let's go for the best. The enhanced. Click on that one.
Let's get all curious.
So
that
what
is just more in depth than we can do in a short podcast.
Well, this is just, it says in out. That's it. Whereby it gives you numbers for baselines on the enhanced.
That's a little trickier.
What does the in, the out mean from previous and current?
Remember, I think I just mentioned that the previous is before you were optimized. So you're initially scanned, then I send you optimizing frequencies. So think about it like, a sine and a cosine, it kind of goes like this.
Sine wave, yes.
Yeah. And if something is off balance, we would send you the opposite wave to zero it out. Or if it's just a little bit too high or a little bit too low, you kind of vary the frequency. So now I admit I do not send you the frequencies myself. This is all in the quantum. It's all in the field.
So looking at the enhanced, the current column, you have some you have some greens there that say in. Then on the previous, how would I look at this? Like what I'm trying to figure out here is what in and out mean.
The current scan is what you are after I've optimized your frequencies.
After you're optimized. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So the previous is like before we did anything magic.
Got it. And if it came up red and it said out, that means out of range. Yep. And then when you do the scan, then you'll be in range. I've got a couple here, blackberries. I love blackberries, but it says out of range in previous and current. What does that mean?
Maybe it means that today blackberries are not your key. Blackberries have a lot of antioxidants, so they're super healthy, but it could be that either maybe your blood sugars are a little bit off, or it could be that there's something in the blackberries, some antioxidant that your body just doesn't need today. So it's not saying like you'll die if you eat it. It's saying that's not the most optimal thing you could have for yourself today.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find, health related ones and something that we can take a look at here. HDL-C under lipid panel, blood lipids.
Right.
What would that be?
That was high density lipoproteins. Truth be told, I don't get into all of the detail of looking at all of those. I worry about when I see too many that are still red and not optimized. So if I optimize and I still have too many in the red column, then I would probably start to worry. But at this point, I just skimmed yours. I don't have it up in front of me. But most of the ones that were in the red optimized to the green.
Yeah, and there's not in the blood area, not too many there. I want to see if there's something else that maybe I'm aware of, so we can validate some of this. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. Haven't had labs done in a long time. I'm due. Long time meaning a year.
Remember, the tricky thing is too, blood work is always tricky because everyone says, oh, well, I got my blood work done and it said X or Y or Z. But for most parts of your blood work, if you get it done at 7 in the morning and you get it done at 4 in the afternoon,
Oh
it's not
yeah.
even going to be the same.
Oh, I always do it in the
It looks
morning
kind of silly.
with fasting. Yeah, totally. What about? Let's see. What is a? And I know we're getting technical here, but just for better understanding, when it's a blue out as opposed to a red.
Are you looking at the chakras or the meridians?
I'm looking meridians. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you scroll down a little bit, one of them is like under, and one's over. So like, is that too powerful and not powerful enough? Is
Uh,
that what it says if you scroll down a little bit?
you scroll down how far?
Till the bottom of the meridian part.
Marine part. No, it didn't give me. Oh, wait. Well, you know what? Let me move to another part here, and this is like super interesting. And again, to reiterate, if you're in out of range, meaning maybe not the best for you, by listening to these sounds, that would bring you in range. Correct?
No, that was for the inner voice part. That is for the emotional. This is for the physical.
So, no, I mean, if you listen to the proper sound.
Right, right. But they're not quite the same thing. Sounds help a lot, but for these things specifically, frequencies are what's going to do it. Now, sound frequencies help, but sound frequencies are more broad. We're sending you specific frequencies.
So let's say your blood panels came back a little wonky, but then it says in the current, if you did um, optimize somehow, would you optimize by listening to some of these sounds to get you back in range?
That's not really how I would. The sounds help. The sounds are more emotional balance right now. That's the
Okay,
sounds that I am playing for you that I sent you are more emotional. But
gotcha.
there's other scans too, and I know we got to get going. There's other scans. I know, like I had sent you the body system scan. That one's really cool. So that actually scans 13 different body systems. I mean, circulatory, your skin, your digestion, all those things. The cool thing is it's going to show you the parts that are coming up out of frequency, and it has talked to me about when I have in the connective tissue, and I've had a lot of shoulder issues, and it's interesting because it always tells me that my right subscapula or subscapularis is, what does it say, attached, or it basically
So
always says my right shoulder is out of, and it is
let
the part that
I,
I always
I
have
have I
problems
have
with.
the same thing, different shoulder.
Yeah.
What would I click to see? And let's see if that even shows up.
Go in your body system scan and scroll down to it might come up as 13 different things for you depending on how you see it.
There's so many different
For the connective tissue.
this I don't even know if I'm going to find that. There's like 15 different attachments in one email.
All right. Well, the cool thing is so it's going to talk to you about what's going on, if it's an acute thing or if it's a chronic thing. So acute would mean like you just had an injury and your body is trying to repair it right now. A chronic is if you've had a long-term thing, and it can usually pick up on that. The cool thing is it's also going to tell you like recommendations based on just you, not like, oh, everyone who has a shoulder problem should go to the chiropractor or get a massage or whatever. But sometimes it says things like you should take a certain supplement, you should consider massage, you should consider chiropractor, you should add more electrolytes or trace minerals. So the cool thing is that it bases what's going on with the rest of your body to give you suggestions. For every body system, I think you get 5 or 6 different suggestions on what would be good for you. A lot of them are simple, like add more hydration, work on your sleep, decrease stress. Some of them are more specific, which I love. Try infrared sauna, cool stuff like that.
Okay, body
Yeah.
systems report. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would I scroll down to find like the shoulder thing? Just kind of curious if
It
that
could
even
be in
showed
the
up.
muscular system or it could be in the connective tissue. For me, it always shows up in the connective tissue because for me, it's not just the muscle, it's like all the joints and all the, you know, but it could show up in your muscular system report also.
There's so much information here.
I
I
know.
mean,
How about this? How about we talk about some other stuff too, but you get to look through that.
yeah.
One of the
I'm
other thing
like,
is I'm a nutritional kinesiologist. So you got to know that and I'm an integrative health coach. I have a kitchen cupboard full of every kind of supplement you can imagine. But you know that even though I know vitamin D is good for me, I know there's a ton of stuff that I could take because I know they're good for me. But the cool thing is, I scan myself every day and in the morning, and some of the different scans will tell me this is what you need now. So I have loaded the supplements that are in my kitchen cabinet into my AO scanner. And then it only tells me like the top 6 every day that my body needs based on what I've loaded. So it's not going to say, go to this fancy pharmacy and buy this fancy supplement. It's going to say, this is what you put in here. Fantastic. These are the top 5 or 6 that you
wow.
should take today. That saves me a ton of money because, man, I used to take so many supplements because they're good for me. But, good for me is not what you need every single day.
Listen, I opened up my cabinet the other day, and I forgot how much stuff I've bought over the past, call it 2 years, year and a half.
Yeah.
I've never even used it because I hear, oh, this is really good for you. Let me get that. Let me try that. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sure. Then I heard like maybe a side effect of, gastro issues or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm just going to leave that in there
Right.
because they need somebody like you.
Or you need some scan like this. I mean, the cool thing is, like, it's not that vitamin D isn't good for you on a general basis, or it doesn't mean that magnesium isn't good for you. But some days,
Magnesium, I had that in the cabinet because I heard it was good, but it's still sealed. I didn't even open it.
right. But the thing is, depending on what you did yesterday or how you slept, you may need different supplements today than you needed yesterday. If you had a bunch of high quality salmon for dinner last night, you might not need omega-3s today. You might be totally stocked up and you're doing good. So in that case, I eat a lot of fish, so I don't often get omega-3s as a suggested supplement for that day. But, in the winter, I get vitamin D more often. It tells me to take some vitamin D with some K2 because I live in Michigan. We don't get outside quite as much in the
Yeah.
winter.
Amazing. This is,
Yeah.
and just to reiterate here, for you, because you do this on a daily or regular basis, all it does is hear your voice. You've already
Mhm.
plugged in your date of birth and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just hearing your voice for 10 seconds and it's able to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's
Amazing.
just amazing. The different, AO actually stands for alpha and omega. So from beginning to the end, this is pretty much full body. It's going to help me tell me what's going on, optimize my frequencies energetically. It totally goes
Crazy.
hand in hand with, my main part of my business is the harmonic egg, which is light and sound therapy. Totally goes hand to hand. The harmonic egg is not quite as specific about different body systems. It's more pain, inflammation,
Yep.
digestion. It focuses more on the autonomic nervous system, whereas this can really dial into specific issues that you have, like minute details.
But part of the fix for all of this comes down to sound.
Bam.
Sound. That's it. Certain frequencies addressing what your issues are, whether it's the AO scan or the harmonic egg. If it is the egg, you got to be in person. You're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that geo. Can't do. I mean, to some extent, you can do some virtual stuff, but the AO scan, you certainly can. And I've got the frequencies here. I could be, driving in my car or laying in bed and working, headphones on, earbuds in, whatever, listening to these and improving health physically and mentally. Super cool.
Absolutely. It is amazing. I wish I could show you all of it, but it's just in a half-hour podcast, there just isn't time to go through all of it. But it has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do
Well,
we?
here's a couple specific, cool, really quiz specific things. I had one of my neighbors, he has a lot of sciatica issues. So he had been saying for months that his, lower back, like his glutes and his hips were really bugging him. And he kind of thinks that anything I do is woo woo and a little bit extreme. So he never wants to try it. But I did, send him a bunch of Cepheid frequencies, which is subtle energetic frequency imprinters. So I sent him, this is another part of the AO scan. I sent him frequencies for sciatica, for low back pain, a whole bunch of them. And within like 4 hours, he was on his back deck trying to get my attention, kind of dancing a little bit, shaking around. And I called his wife, like, what is your husband doing? And she's like, he's feeling so good. He hasn't felt this good in months. So
Wow.
it's very life changing, like in real time.
Life changing. And
Yeah.
this is the information you need for it. How do we find you, Courtney? What's the best way?
HarmonicEggGR.com. You can, that's my website. My email is info@harmoniceggr.com, or you can give me a call at 616-970-9186.
Make the call. Get some more information on this. It is, I've heard about this, but this is the difference. I was looking into, I don't even know what I'm looking at, or I'm trying to understand until you go into the detail. And this is where the magic happens, and healing happens too. I've already seen some things on here that I can validate that, we don't have time to go into detail like that, but wow. I'll be listening to this later.
Absolutely. Fantastic. It was great to see you again.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.